there is no artery of Cherian, if there is no artery of Cherian, is okay. If you catch a perforated, patient will be having some deficit, but he will live. But artery of Cherian is okay. Single artery. If you catch a perforated, patient will be having some deficit, but he will live. But artery of Cherian is okay. Single artery. If you catch a perforated, patient will be having some deficit, but the basilar tip, and also give some space between the basilar and a millimeter, maybe just a millimeter is enough. Just give a little bit of space after nicely dissecting the sac. Just give a little bit of space between the basilar, the 2P1 and the neck of the aneurysm. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a question for you from a surgeon here, and before you clipping the paraclinoid aneurysm, will you expose the carotid artery in the neck for the proximal control?
Always. Without opening is crazy. This is why I have so much confidence, and I can drill over the aneurysm and all that. If I do not open in the neck, it is completely crazy. It is risk taking to. So I always open in the neck. I mean, we have over 600 aneurysms, but still now, for every paraclinoid or even aneurysms which are close to the clinoid where I think proximal control is difficult, I always open the neck. I may not get control of the carotid, or I may not put a clip on the carotid, or I may not put feeding tube around the carotid, but I always open it so that I can access it when I want. I may not even dissect it completely, but if I want, I can put a clip on the common carotid. This is important. If you do it without that, this is stylish, but you may get away with it for some time. But when you have a carotid rupture and you have no proximal control, this is not a good place to be. And you wish that maybe it was better that you open. So I always open.
刚才咱们有一个同事问，床突旁动脉瘤加闭前会不会需要做这个颈动脉的切口来近端控制？艾普他说他对于这种动脉瘤，他总是要做这个颈部的暴露，然后如果对于类似的这种动脉瘤，如果不做近端的提前做这个暴露准备的话，那么一旦出血可能是灾难性的，所以他不一定非得解剖的那么清楚。那么但是一旦出血以后，他就可以很快的控制到这个加闭颈总动脉或者颈内动脉来做近端的控制。
So, Professor Iype, I have a little comment or a little question about your nice presentation. During the second case, you're talking about the nice case of the paraclinoid aneurysm clipping, and during the surgery, also there are some comments from our audience. Sometimes we think it is enough to, to circumscribe the distal dural ring. You just cut the superior surface, superior half of the distal dural ring, and not to totally circumscribe this dural ring to the Michael's cave, and so you can mobilize, have the more mobility to this paraclinoid segment of the ICA. Also, you can open the carotid orbital membrane, and to have the more proximal control, you can clip the clinoid segment of the ICA, and also you can find the orifice of the ophthalmic artery. It is. What's your opinion? You think you're enough? You are very experienced surgeon, and for some young neurosurgeon or not so familiar with the region, especially a majority of the this part of the aneurysm already embolized by calling or standard cyst calling is very rare. For China, for my hospital, 95% of this aneurysm we would do the endovascular approach. Thank you.
This is a very good comment, but I would have done this if I was in difficulty. I would have done this, but maybe you probably did not see that the C3 segment I have completely exposed, so you can see the entire vertical carotid segment when I am clipping. I did not completely dissect the distal dural ring because this is a transitional aneurysm, and the distal dural ring is incorporated into the carotid. So if you cut too much, maybe there is a chance that the aneurysm will rupture. And yes, of course, if it is needed, I can show you a few more paraclinoids where I completely cut the distal dural ring, cut the proximal dural ring also, and I clip the aneurysm. But in this case, we have maybe more than 50 to 100 paraclinoids. So in my experience, I think for me it's acceptable for me to dissect this much and clip. Yes, I understand as we go along, our experience increases, and maybe our exposure may not have to be too much because I can visualize the aneurysm and I can visualize the carotid, and then I can clip it. But thank you for this comment.
老师能不能帮大家用中文跟大家聊一下刚才咱们的这个精彩的问答呢？谢谢啊。
那个郭，你说吗？
孙主任你来吧。
没事，我就刚才有咱们同仁也在问，就是他那个床突旁动脉瘤的这个关于这个远环的剪开，经典的斗论死的入路。那么Iype教授呢，可能他就是经验比较丰富，而且他认为这个一部分的动脉瘤是位于这个硬膜内，一部分就位于海绵窦内，所以他只把这个上表面就是靠近咱们术区的这个180度的这个硬膜环剪开，他没有再继续的向这个 cave 向这个海绵窦颈壁完全剪开，包括打开颈动脉膜，他认为他就足够了，而且他刚才也有这个观众咱们在问他，就是他做颈部的准备啊，因为他说可能他是做了颈部准备，我不知道是具体郭主任他是说切开了还是没切开，我不知道他说没说切开的事儿，反正他可能还是做了颈部的准备，可能消毒也消毒了。
他应该是都切开了，他的
做切开了是吧？做切开了那就行了啊。其实咱们还有一种，像上回我们跟那个我们单位的胡主任也是，他演示了一个床突旁动脉瘤，有时候我们可以把这个潜能涂抹完以后，经典的斗论死剪开以后，把这个颈动脉膜完全的游离开，把这个海绵窦前外侧壁顶壁打开以后，你就可以把这个床突段的磨完床突以后显露出来的那段床突段的小小那小段颈动脉做一个这个床突段的阻断而且呢完全游离开以后，当然剪的时候就是尤其往这个腹侧背侧去剪的时候，一定要注意眼动脉起始，有时候眼动脉起始位于这个硬膜环之间或者海绵窦内的时候不要误伤。可能再加起来相对这个充分一些，当然这个Iype教授觉得他是足够了，他可能经验非常丰富，而且现在也都是这种趋势。既然他做了这个颈部的这个阻断，已经达到了咱们这个动脉瘤的一个在轴动脉极端阻断的一个原则，经验非常丰富，已经有，而且现在也都是这种趋势。既然他做了这个颈部的这个阻断，已经达到了咱们就足够了可能是这么一个理解。好，谢谢。
还有老师有问题吗？如果没有问题的话，最后感谢一下Iype教授的讲解。下面我们把时间交给孙立勇教授。如果有其他问题的话，我们会让Iype教授帮大家用文字来解答。
Thank you, Professor. I'm very happy to share you with us, guys, with us my personal experience about the cerebrovascular dural fistula in endovascular era. I'm Dr. Sun from Shanwu Hospital in Beijing. This is an endovascular arrow, and the majority of the cerebrovascular disease can be treated by the endovascular approach now. And but for open surgery and for the some disease, we still can use the microsurgery to deal with that. For dural fistula, it's not so very rare disease in China because China has a huge population. It is the most frequent required vascular malformation of the central nervous system. It's more involved of the disease, more involved of dural. And the angio architecture is very unique. I want to emphasize one point. The dural fistula is not just a fistula point, it's the fistula region or fistula shunting zone, which means numerous arteries feeders affecting the dural branches, one dural region, and have the AV shunt. They can go into the sinus, and they also can converge into the cortical vein. Like every row can go to Rome and to the Classio, and the southern road you can go here. But the shunting zone is very is the only way they can going out. We're all familiar with the classification of one to two common classifications. One's Gaunia, one's Borden, nearly at the same times. Borden classification is more simple, and when the arterialized blood flow converge into the cortical vein, they may have more risky for bleeding. It's very easy to understand because the high pressure arterialized blood flow go into the fragile venous structure, especially in the subarachnoid. If they affect the cortical vein, they have the more risk for bleeding. And our target is not, you can use open surgery or endovascular, but our target is very unique. It's one target. This is the vein side of the fistula, not you just glue the one artery or several arteries along. It's not effective and uncurable. You should shut down the door, then you can cure the fistula. In the arrow of the endovascular treatment, the indication for our neurosurgeon to perform the microsurgery, I think as following. And the Borden 3 cerebral dural fistula, and which means it's a cortical type, and the blood flow converge into the cortical vein. It's very easy for open surgery to expose and disconnect the fistula. And in other cases, if they have the difficulty of the transartery or transvenous access for the route for the endovascular approach, it's also sometimes easy for open surgery. And some feeding artery come from meningeal hypophyseal trunk, last mentioned by the Professor Iype during the cadaver dissection, is very tiny, and the orifice, the original course of this tiny artery is very tortuous. It's very hard to navigate the microcatheter into the artery to inject glue. Also, some middle meningeal arteries I will demonstrate later. And I want to emphasize one point that we should understand, care should be taken to the dangerous atmosis or dangerous artery supply the cranial nerves. I think it's undermined by our endovascular colleague. Some radiologists just inject the glue with high pressure through this dangerous atmosis and cause a lot of problem. I will demonstrate later. This is a classical article described by the Timur Cranes, who is the students of Professor Lornias. And there are numerous dangerous atmosis between the external carotid arteries and to the internal carotid arteries. Also, there have some dangerous arteries, and for example, the petrosal branch of the middle meningeal artery, or the neuromeningeal trunk of the ascending pharyngeal artery, they have the blood supply for the cranial nerves. And sorry for the Chinese, for our Chinese colleague audience. So this is a dangerous ethmosis of arteries and from different region and different ethmosis. But I want to see there's some they have the internal maxillary artery and the ophthalmic artery. They can have the connection ethmosis with the internal carotid arteries. And also the ascending pharyngeal artery have to connect the dangerous ethmosis with the ICA or vertebral arteries. So the care should be extremely taken to those dangerous ethmosis and artery when you inject the glue and when you put the catheter inside this artery with some technique. And we should keep in mind of this. This is my personal case. In my department, we are dual neurovascular surgeon. We perform the open surgery and endovascular treatment all by myself. And this is my personal case. This is an elder patient who is severe edema in the medulla oblongata. Also, you can see the floor void here, and is corresponding with the dural fistula at the condyle. And the patient had a very severe dyspnea and with the chondroplegia, and the condition very severe. And the feeding artery came from the dangerous arteries, which is petrosal branch of the middle aneurism artery here, just above the petrosal bone and across the roof of the tympanum. And there are also another dangerous artery from the stereomuscular branches of the posterior auricular arteries here. So the family want to do not refuse to the open surgery. Also for the patient is very severe, so I use a minimally invasive way, a so-called minimally invasive way to I embolize this fistula. So you can see I put the double lumen balloon catheter. We use the so-called pressure cooker, very popular technique. So I dilate the balloon here and through the tip and here, and to inject the onyx with a high pressure, because I have the balloon. It gives more power to decrease the reflex here. So I have the more pushing power forward. So this is but it is a far long way to reach the venous side of the fistula. So I want to mention that if you want to cure，
那个可不可以用加一些中文来帮助大家理解一下？因为有的老师
这上面有中文吧？大家听不懂是吗？
对对。
那从哪开始？就都没听懂是吗？
部分加一些就行了。
继续就好，然后加一些中文。哎，对，好。
这个就是打胶的时候，当然用了高压锅技术，但是这个胶呢，弥散的比较远，才能到这个静脉端，达到治愈效果。所以这个病人有这个术后呢有这个面瘫。为什么有面瘫呢？就是因为他这个反到这个脑膜中的眼骨端这个红箭头所指。So they have the facial palsy here because causing by the reflex of the onyx to the petrosal segment of the middle meningeal arteries. But the patient were incomplete cover 3 months later. It's not the case for the middle fossa dural AVF treated by me, and I also used the balloon catheter injected. 这个呢，我尽量的把这个导管走的靠近漏口打胶，虽然这个距离已经很短了，但是因为想要胶充分的弥散到静脉端呢，但是还是有一些胶呢反流到这个脑膜中的眼骨支眼骨支就是刚才这个 Iype 他这个做 dissection 的时候可以给大家演示的这个 GSPN 呐、眼前大神经，包括颅底的这些脑膜支。都是对神经有供血的。So this patient have the trigeminal neuralgia with the V3, V2, V3 branches, where severe. They have to take a painkiller to solve them, and also have the dry eye, which caused the injury of the GSPN, which we can see during the cadaver dissection by Professor Iype. And also have the 1 week later delayed facial palsy, 1 week later of the ablation. But the patient got to recover 3 months later. So it looks like a mini invasive, but sometimes we should take in account if you want change another option to open surgery, maybe it's better. I think it may be better for some important structure. 这个呢是另外一个病例，就是一个炎上窦的一个硬膜瘘，那么是一个出血的病人。这个呢有一个非常大的一个静脉球，已经就是到了4型，也就是说有这个静脉端的这个扩张，动脉瘤样结构。这个呢，因为病人呢，他们别的组织也是做了这种介入，但是呢，这个胶呢栓塞剂呢没有完全充盈这个静脉球，部分的堵塞了这个静脉端，也没有达到治愈效果。那病人再次出血，所以再次手术的时候，我们可以看到这个实际上漏口呢是很小的啊，漏口是没有那么大的一个静脉球，这整个静脉球是这样的，胶只冲进了一部分，而且部分堵塞了这个静脉端，所以导致了再次出血。其实手术呢倒没有那么难。So the patient got the rupture after the ablation. We have to operate again and cure the disconnected fistula here. Sometimes we already have 3 cases for this kind of the partial embolized dural fistula in the superior pituitary sinus. They got the rebleeding after the ablation. So for this kind of with the venous punch type, we should take care of this. 这是另外一例，就是外院做过栓塞的病人。So there's another case for partial incomplete ablation. We can see the glue here already reached the venous side, but just a little bit part of the venous side. They can't cure the fistula. Maybe they caused more problem. How about the open surgery? Sometimes open surgery is very simple, clear, and safe. And there's another case for superior pituitary sinus dural AVF and the female patient. And we can see the fistula here. And this is the angiogram and the authorized drainage vein going downwards at the through the anterior spinal artery. You can see the severe edema here. 这个呢，有时候大家呢，可能国内的这个广大同仁呢，有时候要注意，因为有好多地方都把这个误诊当做脊髓炎去治疗，在神经内科耽误了很久，而尤其是一给激素，然后会有这种90%的病人会有这种加重，但是仔细的看会看到髓周的这种留空影在这里面。So the 3D fusion, we can see the fistula point is here, just as the junction between the petrosal bone and the tentorial junction is here. My colleague tried to embolize this. They used a balloon to assist this super selection. We can see the tip of the microcatheter. They can go into the meningeal hypophysis trunk, but they can't go further. They can't go further. It's unsafe to inject the glue. 这个他做了超选，但是我们没法走远，尤其在这个脑膜垂体干。刚刚脑膜垂体干呢，Iype教授在这个dissection 里，他也做了这个展示。那么往往的在起始端有一个非常锐的一个弯，所以这个即使再软的锐导管，在目前为止，有时候想走远是非常难的。你不走远的话，那么注胶的时候非常不安全，即使你在这里抻一个球囊，也会引起很多问题，而且达不到，没法让胶跑这么远去闭塞这个静脉端。So we choose the open surgery. It's very nice and simple, and you can see the schematic diagram presented by Professor Lawton. It's very nicely present the location of this fistula just between the junction of the tentorial and the petrosal bone. So this is a schema presented by my young colleague. You can for this case, and we can see the video. This is a ritual sigmoid approach, and the key is that you should use boulder as a transverse sigmoid junction, just like a trigeminal neuralgia surgery. And this is 7 and 8. This is a branch of the ICA, and I cut the membrane of the CP angle, and we can see that your fistula shunting zone here is a nodule here. It's a thrombosed 2 branches of the superior petrosal vein. It is arterialized drainage vein. At the same time, the shining with the ICA were in the IC green videography. In the delayed filling of the normal petrosal vein here, where delayed filling. So this is normal vein here, and this is the arterialized drainage vein. Here, I want to use, I prefer to use a temporary clip to decrease the blood flow. Then I use the bipolar to calculate this arterial vein with a low power. Then you can remove the clip to further calculation. But I want to preserve this normal vein, and they still have the function to drainage the cerebellum venous system. So you can easily to cure this patient is post-operative angiography is clean, the dural fistula is disappear, and just after 3 months of the operation, the patient's symptom totally recover. You can see the follow-up and MRI is perfect, and all the edema disappear, flow void also disappear. It's another case for the same region, and maybe the edema is not very severe, but we still can see some flow void in the perimedullary space. If the patient have a high magnification of the MRI scan, you will see that the same region, same pattern, the drainage vein go downwards through the anterior posterior spinal vein. And I like to the simple 3D reconstruction image fusion. You can just finish in the workshop working station of the angio room. The majority of the machine have this kind of software to reconstruct it. You can fuse the bone and with the vessel. You can see the foramen spinosum here, and there's a medial meningeal branches, which is the branches is dangerous arteries. The petrosal branch of the middle meningeal artery, the fistula point here， 这就是这个脑膜中的圆骨支啊，这是极孔，然后这是眼骨支，在眼骨脊和小脑膜交界处，这是漏口起始的部位。So this is the initial part of the arterial drainage vein here. So have this internal auditory canal， 这是内听道。So we take the same simple surgery, small incision, small bone flap, small dural opening. The key is that you should exposure the transverse sigmoid junction here, just like a trigeminal neuralgia. And you don't need to open the arachnoid of the 7, 8 or lower cranial nerve. You just directly go to this junction to open the arachnoid here. You will see the fistula. And also this coexist thrombose superior petrosal vein here. This is the arterial drainage vein with conform of the ICG angiography, videography, and easily to disconnect it. This is another case for adult patient with a hemorrhagic case. Sometimes we can have in the ER. And the anterior skullbase fossa of semicudal osemoidal dural fistula， 这是前颅底的，包括这个筛窦的这个硬脑膜动脉瘘呢，经常会出血啊，但是它的供血动脉都是来自于筛后动脉和眼动脉的脑膜反支非常非常细小和迂曲，有时候非常难去这个做介入。So this is a good indication for open surgery because the feeder is very tiny and tortuous. So here I use the anterior intrahemispheric approach, a mini bone flap. I cut the fornix, this crystal galley, and you can see the winner's punch here. It has here. The fistula point, fistula region is here. You can see the initial part of arterial drainage vein here. Is arterial drainage vein here, is the initial part here, is the shunting zone. So this is the affected groove on the right side. You can see the dilated dural artery, and then they go to the initial part of the arterial drainage vein, to the venous punch. So here I use the selective ICG videography. I clip it. When the arterialized face, I open it. You can see the shining of the arterial drainage vein. You can fluorescing flash into the normal venous system. So I confirm it's a shunting zone, and I disconnected the fistula easily. And you can finish the surgery very quickly, 1.5 hours skin to skin, because it's an elderly patient and the small bone flap, small dural opening to cure this kind of the very common anterior skullbase fistula. Is another case, a little bit rare, a young patient with the sphenoparental sinus fistula. You can see the initial part of the fistula is here, and with the venous punch, they got bleeding, and the drainage further distal to the Sylvan vein. 这是一个蝶顶窦区的一个硬膜瘘啊，这是一个年轻的病人，可以到有个静脉球结构远端的向这个侧列静脉引流。 这是那个静脉球，可以在核磁上看到。实际上就咱们1点硬膜外处理蝶骨脊时候出血的那个部位，在硬膜内翻过来看，就可以看到这个部位啊。当然做一些脑膜流水能看见啊。So this is a small Toriano approach. You can exposure the fistular zone here. This initial part of arterial drainage vein and the early shining in the ICG radiography and easily clipping. You can also confirm in the hybrid OR. You can see it's a hybrid OR, and even in the later venous phase, the fistula was gone. This is my recent case just 2 weeks ago. This is a very severe patient with a grade 5 Hunter-Hans grade 5 subarachnoid hemorrhage. The patient already have the tonsil herniation before the surgery. Is a tentorial sinus DVF. You can see the bleeding here is the 3 sinus tentorium. This angiography demonstrate the fistula point is here, and just beneath the 3 sinus parameter beneath in the parameter region, and the drainage into the tentorial sinus, and we still use the open surgery to decompress the cerebellum and disconnect the fistula with a very big bone flap for decompression. So we after open the dural, I can see the tonsillar herniation. The tonsillar tip at the level of the C1 laminar is here. 这病人已经有这个枕骨大孔栓了，相当扁桃体是在这个颈1这个水平。So between the space of the cerebellum and the tentorial, in the infratentorial supracerebellum space, we can see the fistula here is now very big, but in the when I clip it, you can see the dilated venous punch to color change, and decompress the venous punch, decompress the bone, and evacuate the hematoma. And I also want to present a very unique, very interesting dural fistula as a craniofacial junction, and 这是环枕交界区的瘘Sometimes they have the myelopathy caused by the venous hypertensive myelopathy, also present with the cerebral hemorrhage. And the feeding artery also are very dangerous and very tortuous. And if you try to embolize, you will have some problem. I will present with you. And we have a lot of cases for this region since 2002 and to now. And this is one of my cases. The patient have the embolization treatment in another famous hospital and transfers to us with a deterioration. You can see that before the embolization, the drainage pattern is like this. The after embolization, the arterial drainage vein is still here, but with one single drainage vein downwards, another drainage vein is disappear. The remaining drainage vein is at is the anterior spinal arteries, and the edema of the medulla oblongata is disappear, but the more severe edema in the upper cervical spine, the patient got a deterioration for weakness of bilateral limbs, and but for open surgery is quite easy. It is very easy. After I open the dural, already see the fistula. Even I don't open the arachnoid. Is in the nearly the media, in the posterior median side, and converge into the marginal sinus. They have the normal functional drainage vein, but if they have the fistula, the arterial blood flow can go into this tiny vein, got enlarged, got the myelopathy. So just 2 weeks after the surgery, and the patient got cured, and the angiography shows disappear of the fistula. Another failure case for embolization, you can see the over inject the onyx to the wrong vessel. You can see the onyx outflow in the subarachnoid space, filling in the normal posterior spinal artery. Also, you can call this lateral spinal artery in this craniofacial junction region, presented by Liyong. 这是一个onyx 外溢的一个病人。那么这个是打到这个他 超错了这个动脉，然后好不容易可能进了一根比较粗的脊髓后动脉或者脊髓侧动脉，实际上是非常非常危险。那么这个病人也是有了一些症状啊，有一些肢体麻木和运动障碍的症状，实际上是非常危险的。胶已经打到正常的血管里了。But the fistula is still here. They can't cure the fistula. They can't make the onyx to fill the fistula. On the fistula beneath this normal vessel. So it's easy for open surgery to expose that. So we have some cases. So I think the preoperative image fusion image is very important for a surgeon to understand the complex neurovascular anatomy in this region, and you can fuse the angiography with the bone and put it into the surgical orientation. The bone flap no need too large. The height of the bone flap just at the level of the inferior nuchal line, and half laminar ectomy for C1. And in the lateral, you just reach the condyle margin is enough. And you need to remember the initial part of the drainage vein. Even you can draw the schematic-gram of the initial part of drainage vein, and you have remember it. And when you open the surgery, you will easy to understand the neuroanatomy. So this is my case that I published on the Journal Neurosurgery Neurosurgical Focus video section. Let's see this short video. Is the patient with venous hypertensive myelopathy. They got the weakness of the basilar limb. You can see the fistula. This is the fistula here. 这就是这个 local 病人有这个脊髓症状啊，四肢力弱。They also have the pica branches. You should identify with the dorsal lobe of pica and the abnormal drainage vein. This is a surgical orientation. This is our positioning and incision. So this is occipital bone C1 laminar, and it's a C2 process, spinal process here, and the small opening, not too large. And this is a posterior condyle vein. It's a little bit drilling of the margin of the occipital bone here near to the condyle. No need to open the condyle. So this is a reverse L-shaped incision. And you open the arachnoid. I try to keep the integrity of the arachnoid. You can suture it back. The key of the surgery, you should open the dental ligament. And is the first dental ligament here attached to the margin of the foramen magnum. 这是第一齿状韧带。第二齿状韧带在这儿，然后它俩之间会有种磨化的齿状韧带。So you should open the dental ligament here, also here, so you can see the fistula beneath the ligament. The majority of the fistula just have the ventral side of the vertebral artery. 这是椎动脉的一个走形，它往往这个部位的颈仪的硬膜瘘是在这个椎动脉的偏腹侧。So that's the reason why I prefer the posterior middle line approach now to the far lateral approach. I know some surgeons like the far lateral approach for this region fistula, but I think the trajectory for the posterior middle line approach is more easy for surgeon to see the orifice of the fistula beneath the vertebral arteries. So the reason why I choose the middle line approach. 这是背侧的一个引流经脉的一个边界，所以要打开这个齿状韧带。So open the dental ligament, so already you see the initial part of arterial drainage vein, and some part of the drainage vein were blocked by the dorsal root of C1. 这是颈医的这个背根，当然可以完全的切断它。is You can resect the C1 dorsal root. So I use same technique, selective the ICG angiography and clip it. And then I open it. You can see the shining of the IC-green fluorescing into the venous system. And after we confirm it, I can coagulate. You can see the color change of the arterialized drainage vein. You can see the color change before and after surgery, and the angiography shows the total obligation of the fistula. 1 week later, just you can see the change of the in the MRI. The patient got the symptom were totally relieved. And there's another emergency case, and the patient already have the trachea intubation with the chondroplegia transfer from another hospital. This very severe compression caused by the venous punch, venous anesthesia。这是一个非常重的一个急诊病人，从这个别的医院转过来，已经插了气管插管，四肢瘫，但神志是清楚的，延髓有个明显的一个静脉球的压迫造成的一个静脉压迫，一个延髓的压迫症状。So this MRI can see the venous punch here, and the venous aneurysm structure in the drainage vein comprise the medulla oblongata.
孙主任，您那个共享屏幕是不是关了？
现在开了吧？
好了。
So sorry for the disruption, and you can see how ugly of the lesion of the fistula. You can see the venous punch here, and very complex anatomy. Actually, the fistula, the initial part of drainage vein is very small, and but in the further direction, they have the spread everywhere. It's very ugly. But if you carefully review in the angiography, in the 3D reconstruction and the fusion image, actually the initial part of the fistula is very small, just one single branch is here, and then have the curve and going downwards, going upwards, and have the venous punch. You have to try to understand the neuroanatomy before the surgery, the surgical orientation here, and this is you can see how this is before the surgery in the surgical simulation. You can see during surgery, you will see the initial part, the shape. You should remember the shape of the initial part of arterial drainage vein, so you can see, you can remember it, and you can confirm it during your surgery. It is the same. So actually, it is look like ugly and very complex, like AVM, but the initial part of fistula is very simple. All you need to do is just close this part. So in this case, I also don't use I can't use the IC-GRAM. So if you don't IC-GRAM videography, that's okay. It's a distal part of the fistula. So I temporarily clip with my forceps. I close the fistula. I see the color change. I want to see the vasovagal maneuver of the arterial drainage vein. You will see that the color change or bulging when I close and open. Because at that time we don't have the ICG. So after I confirm it, I can calculate. You can see the color change before disconnection and after connection, and it's not bulging. Also, the color change. You also can puncture the venous punch for decompression. Just after the surgery and the second days, the patient got the self-erosion for the aspiration, and after half year later, they can walk. Is totally disappear of the ugly dural fistula. Another common disease, I think is more common for our Chinese colleague, and is a spinal dural AVF. It's most frequent spinal malformation, mostly in the elder patient. The man more happen in the man and not woman. More 这是中老年人男性最常见的这个脊髓的动静脉畸形。It's a very more frequently misdiagnosed malpractice, even in the big hospital. You can see this case. They think that lumbar herniation in another hospital, a very big hospital. They have the long segmental fusion. Actually, the problem that is they have the fistula. They have the fistula. Also, we have a lot of application with the fusion in the lumbar or neck, and actually, it's not the real problem for the patient. So you should carefully review the MRI. You should see the edema. You will see the small flow void in the perimedullary space. You can see the flow void and enhanced flow void in the enhancement MRI sagittal view. The majority of patients were misdiagnosed in neurology department. Even they have the give the high dose of the steroid, and they have the deterioration rapidly, and misdiagnosed and malpractice. We also want use the very simple fusion image in the angio room. You can fuse the bone with the fistula, and you can cut the laminar like a surgery. We always use the semi-laminar ectomy. Also, we some use the troca to disconnect this simple lesion. And if you have the good fusion here, you will know which laminar, which segment laminar, which part, and you need to resect and expose the fistula. 这个有时候大家呢经常的去到神经内科去看一下，包括骨科会有很多误诊的、漏诊的这个硬脊膜动脉瘘。实际上，尤其在中国，这个误诊率、漏诊率是极高的啊！仔细的去看核磁，包括做造影的时候，一定要勾到这个正确的肋间动脉，去融合，去找正确的决断。So there's very simple cases I want to present here. Is where myelopathy and a very simple fistula. This is the fistula here, and the arterial drainage vein where I go up and tortuous and go downwards. So this patient open a little bit larger region to see the whole arterial drainage vein drainage pattern. So I don't open the arachnoid, just push it a little away. This is the drainage pattern of this arterial drainage vein. Here I repeat it with the selected drainage vein. When you open the first step, you can see the fluorescing flash into the arterial drainage vein. So I confirm it's a fistula point. They become a very simple surgery after surgery. And it's another tragic cases that we can see the patient already have the fusion in the lumbar region, but actually it's not, problem is not here. You can see the MRI edema of the thoracic spine and the small flow void enhancement in the upper thoracic region. So this is the left T8 level. The fistula, I close it and open it. When the fluorescing can see the flash into the arterial drainage vein, so you can confirm it. And very easy to disconnect it. And all our chief resident will do the surgery. And the important is that is a diagnosis and of the fistula. Sometimes we need a hybrid operation. We need hybrid operation. Sometimes we can't expose the lower level in the sacral canal. They're very, very low in here. So we can use a transvenous approach in the hybrid OR. We can puncture the arterial drainage vein and put a microcatheter and inject the glue through the arterial drainage vein going downwards to cure the fistula in the sacral canal. So this is during the hybrid OR. 这是我们用了一个杂交的手术手段，逆向的去穿刺这个动脉化静脉，然后逆向的去置入这个微导管去打胶，这样把这个底尾部的这个瘘呢就治愈了。因为这个瘘太低了，我们不想靠近这个肛门这个区域去切开啊，有很多的问题。So this is a catheterization of the microcatheter, and you also can have the ligation here. So you can also have the plan under the X-ray. You can inject the glue. It's the same for another approach for AVM or cerebral AVM or cerebral dural fistula. And so you can see we can reverse transvenous injection and to cure the fistular zone here and cure the patient. So to conclusion, a message to take home, and in the era of the endovascular time era, the microsurgery is still a very safe and practical way, and several techniques you can use helpful for the surgery. And thank you for your attention.
有其他老师想问问题吗？如果没有的话，我们把接下来的时间交给郭毅老师，请郭毅老师开始他的讲解吧。
大家好。刚才艾普和孙主任都给大家做了非常精彩的这个报告。那下面呢，我是给大家分享几个病例，都是最近做的比较复杂的这个动脉瘤。刚才也艾普教授呢给大家讲解了一下，就是改良的这个导端四入路对于这个基底动脉瘤，还有这个沿旁动脉瘤的这个应用，还有它的石头解剖。我呢这个给大家分享几个3个病例。那么是最近做的，那么但是我是习惯还是用这个传统的这个矿泉入路来进行这个基底动脉分叉部这个动脉瘤的这个加闭术。刚才看了这个艾普教授的这个讲解之后呢，那个我感觉可以来以后再调整一下这个入路。这是第一个病例，一个60岁的女性，突发剧烈头疼，伴意识障碍，30分钟，到我院的急诊科就诊。那么我们可以裁掉这个颅骨，那么术前做一个类似于模拟手术一个暴露。那么这是手术的这个体位和切口，基本上就是常规的这个1点入路。那么我做的是单瓣的矿泉入路的这个一个开骨瓣，那么运用这个开颅钻和超声骨刀，那么很方便的可以把这个矿泉一体卸下来，还有颅瓣。那一般的矿泉入路呢，有单瓣的，有2瓣的，然后还有把这个颅瓣和矿还有保留颧骨，那么不同的这种来改良。那一般的传统的这个矿泉入路呢是双瓣的开颅，那我做的是单瓣的这个。那么这个矿泉入路的这个好处呢，它可以充分的暴露这个额下，然后经1点还有颞前颞下的整个的空间的区域都可以暴露。另外呢，它的这个视角呢也可以通过打开硬膜把这个眼球向下压，那么它的视角呢从下向上。这个会增加的显露，减少对脑的一个牵拉。这是一个手术视频。首先呢，我们是这个病人先做了一个对侧的侧脑室外引流，然后手术当中呢放出一部分脑积液，脑压有所下降，然后首先进到这个基底池，开放基底脑池。那么这是所有的这个颅底入路还有动脉瘤手术的第一步，就是充分的显露，放出这个脑积液以后，来降低这个脑压力，使脑松弛。可以看到这右侧呢，这是小脑幕，然后释放一部分脑积液，颅压降下来，脑子松弛之后呢，我们分侧列。当然分侧列呢，这个要看大家的这个习惯，每个人习惯都不一样，然后。这没有一个非常标准的，就按一个做法来做。那么可以，这个逆行分离，也可以顺向分离，从远端到近端，也可以从近端到远端，这个根据具体的情况。然后呢，这个也可以锐性分离或者是钝性分离。那一般的呢，我是全程都使用就是一个指剪刀来分离。那么。这个是分离额叶颞叶这个侧列完全分离开之后，抱歉，这个先一般的选取1点，然后突破，暴露一部分以后，从内向外，因为它这个严重的状膜腔出血之后，那么基本上没有侧列里边没有多大的空间，脑积液都是血块粘连的很厉害。把侧列完全分离开之后，那么可以显露整个的基底脑池的这些结构。 那么可以看到这个离离溃死膜和整个的桥间池的这个血块，然后动眼神经、小脑幕缘、大脑后动脉的 P2 段。然后我们沿着这个大脑后动脉的这 P2 段呢，然后去寻找这个基底动脉的分叉顶端。这个是打开离离溃死膜，清除这个桥间池、基底动脉周边的这些血块。逐渐的把这些血块清除掉以后，那么暴露这个基底动脉。那么这是基底动脉的主干，这是同侧的小脑上动脉和大脑后动脉的 P1 段。那我们分离暴露一点这个基底动脉主干之后呢，先上一个临时阻断夹，然后调整显微镜的视角。再分离动脉瘤，那么这是基底动脉的顶端，这是双侧的大脑后动脉的这 P1 段，那这是那个基底顶端的这个动脉瘤。这时候我们充分的暴露瘤颈，然后分离这个动脉瘤周围，看看有没有这个穿支动脉。完整显露好之后，然后用一个直的动脉瘤夹把它夹闭。然后这动脉瘤已经夹闭，动脉瘤明显的这个塌陷，这是去除临时阻断夹之后，我们可以看到这个结构。那么 ICG 造影来确认这些动脉瘤没有再充盈，然后各个分支都保留完好。那这时候呢，这个去除的这个脑压板，大家可以看到这个脑子是很松弛的，实际上这脑压板只是起一个阻挡的作用，并没有说明显的一个牵拉。所以这个手术以后的做的一个颅骨的重建，可以看到这个骨瓣的这个范围。因为也跟宣武医院的鲍玉海主任呢探讨过这个手术入路的问题。那么我还是用的传统的 OZ 的入路。那么手术入以后呢，通过重建CTA 的这个重建，那么可以看到是否这个入路呢开的比较大，那么是否还有一些改进的这个余地。那这是 Lawton 的那个 Seven Aneurism 书的一个示意图，可以看到这个矿泉入路一个充分暴露的一个情况。那么这是我们书中的暴露。那么对于无论是动脉瘤还是颅底的这些病变来说，那么首先就是一个最关键的就是要充分的显露这些病变或者是动脉瘤，才能进一步的这个处理。那么要充分显露，实际上就是要提供一个良好的一个空间。那么这个空间呢，首先是去除一部分颅骨，为了减少对脑子的牵拉，去除一部分颅骨，无论是 OZ 的入路的矿泉，还是艾布教授说的那个 modified Dolans 入路，把前窗突去掉，那么都是去除一部分颅骨来减少脑的牵拉。然后再有一个提供空间呢，就是分离外侧裂，那么利用这个自然的腔隙来充分的显露。最后一个呢，就是释放脑积液，把脑积液广泛的开放这个基底脑池，一些牵拉的蛛网膜的一个牵拉，还有这个脑积液释放以后，脑组织明显的这种松弛塌陷，就会提供一个良好的一个术野的显露，来利于这个操作。这是术前 CTA 可以看到这个明显的基底池的这个积血，还有这个脑积水。术后3天的复查的 CTA 可以看到这个血基本上都清掉了，然后动脉瘤夹闭，脑室也缩小。那第二个病例呢，也是一个基底动脉顶端动脉瘤破裂的，这个病人入院的时候，GTS 评分是4分， 样的明显的丘前池的积血、基底脑室积血、梗阻性的脑积水。这是术中的情况。这个呢，病人的这个大脑后动脉呢相对比较粗大，遮挡在这个动脉瘤的上方。这个病人呢，手术当中在加闭的过程当中，这个有破裂出血，所以给大家展示一下，就是说手术当中破裂的动脉瘤的这个处理的情况。这个在上动脉瘤夹的时候呢，这个动脉瘤发生破裂，所以一旦术中发生动脉瘤破裂呢，这个最要紧的就是不要慌，然后控制这个出血。先把输液显露，这个血液清除掉，因为这个在上动脉瘤夹之前，那么这些解剖结构都已经暴露得很清楚，所以一旦破裂呢，也不至于这个抓瞎。所以第二个吸引器也进入到输液当中，帮助清理这个输液。这时候切记就是要这个手忙脚乱的。所以一旦这个找到这个出血点，就很容易把它控制住。控制住之后，然后，我们再来上动脉瘤夹。这时候，一个动脉瘤瘤颈已经都分离暴露清楚了，所以只要吸入这个血，吸入这个出血口、破口的地方，就可以很容易的上这个动脉瘤夹。这个动脉瘤夹闭完成。这是这个术前术后的这个 CTA 的对比的情况。第三个病例呢是一个55岁的女性，也是主因突发的这个剧烈头疼、半意识障碍3个小时就诊。这个入院的时候 GCI 评分是7分，那么也是一个很明显的状脉下腔出血。那么做了 CTA 还有这个造影呢，就发现它是有多发的一个动脉瘤，一个是垂体上动脉的动脉瘤，一个是大脑中动脉的动脉瘤，还有一个是前腔通的动脉瘤。那么三个动脉瘤。那么从这个术中呢看呢，应该是大脑中动脉的这个动脉瘤破了。所以这个我们同样是选的这个矿泉入路，但是这个就是改良的矿泉，只卸了这个矿，没有卸全。然后同时呢，这个也是做了一个改良的这个格兰斯入路，然后把这个前窗突在叶膜脉先磨掉了。所以这个可以看到书中呢，我们把这个远环这个360度切开，充分暴露。然后颈内动脉的虹吸弯地方显露，然后提供空间以后，那么在视神经和颈内动脉，视神经的下方，颈内动脉的内侧是个动脉瘤，以这个用2枚动脉瘤夹把它夹闭。那么这2个动脉瘤夹呢，一个是大脑中的动脉瘤，一个是前腔通的动脉瘤。可以看到这个去除一部分颅骨之后，然后完全分开外侧裂，然后这个充分释放脑积液，那么脑组织会很松弛，那么会提供一个很大的一个空间，充分显露这些病变，尤其是针对这种血管性的病变。然后这个实际上脑压板只是一个阻挡，并不是一个牵拉的一个作用。这是术后的一个 CTA， 还有 Lawton 那个在万流维怎么书上的一个示意图，垂体上动脉的这个动脉瘤的夹闭。好，我的这个汇报完了，谢谢大家。
非常感谢郭毅老师的讲解。有老师想和3位老师们沟通一下吗？有没有问题什么的？有吗？
有问题，老师可以打开自己的这个静音，就是那个话筒，因为不然的话是听不到的。 如果有问题，哪位老师有问题，直接点出下面的话筒，点打开就可以就直接说话了啊。
对，可以点击左下角的音量按键。
郭老师，那个就是说基底动脉瘤的话，就是说您是那个做那个矿泉入路做的比较熟悉，才这么做这个入路是吧？和这个颞下的话，您也做过对比吗？
您说是跟哪个对比？我刚才没听太清楚。
就是说，他这个做那个颞下入路，这基底动脉的话，基底动脉间的动脉瘤，做那个颞下入路的话，您跟那个矿泉入路有没有做过对比？就是说，是否做颞下入路的话，就是说是否那个路径啊和那个手术创伤和时间，会不会相对来说小一点？当然，这东西它因为我自己做的不多，看您的话有什么经验跟我们分享一下。
我还是比较习惯做这个，就是前外侧的这个入路，一般习惯做矿泉，然后因为颞下入路，从我的体会是还是显露的空间比较小。当然，如果是这个，尤其是对这个高位的这个基底动脉瘤做矿泉的话，它显露的会暴露会比较充分。对于这个正常位置的这个基底动脉瘤做颞下入路没问题，但是它相对来说显露的空间会小一些。那么如果释放脑积液也会困难一些，所以像优哈一般的它是习惯都是都要做腰大尺引流术中来帮助这个松弛脑组织。所以我的个人习惯还是做 OZ 比较多。
老师你好，能听到不能啊？
能听到。
我有一个问题啊，我这个就是想跟你讨论一下这个矿泉入路。我请问你的矿泉入路是经常做几个瓣的呀？3个瓣的呀，还是2个瓣的，还是1个瓣的？
我习惯做3瓣。
3瓣的情况下，你的
不是1个瓣。
1个吧？
对。
哦，你那个你去矿的那个矿的一个最后一刀去矿那个，你是用什么给它去的？
我用超声骨刀。
超声骨刀是吧？
对。
哦。行，因为
超声骨刀跟那个摆锯类似，所以它可以垂直的去切。
哦，你用过线锯没有？没
用线锯。
行，我最初看
石头解剖上用过线锯，但是在手术当中还是用的超声骨刀。
哦，那行，没有问题了，谢谢老师啊。
那个郭毅老师，就是那个对于那个基底动脉瘤的话，有时候他那个病人的话，那个评分也比较低，就昏迷程度比较深。所以，但是这种病人的话，做急诊开颅的话，一般也都是现在都是建议，急诊就能够尽早做，是吧？
对，我习惯是只要来了都急诊做，我不拖。
可否用英文翻译一下刚刚蒋老师提出的问题啊
？So can you hear?
I can hear. Tell me.
Yeah. One of our colleague asked a question for you. So you modified the lens approach and So, what kind of modified? You change the how to say that?
I understand. I understand the question.
Okay.
So the Dowling's classical Dowling's approach is not a pericavernous dissection; it is a transcavernous dissection. So the true cavernous membrane is not preserved. There is no. It is not really preserved. In fact, I had gone to Dowling's Institute in 2015, and I had given a lecture, and they said in the later series of Dowling, he also started preserving the true cavernous membrane. So there was not much of bleeding even in his cases. But the classical Dowling's approach is when you start dissecting from V2, not the orbitomeningeal band. You start dissecting from V2, and then you encounter cavernous sinus bleeding, and then you pack or you inject some glue into the between V1 and V2 to stop this bleeding. So this is one modification. What we do is we start dissecting the orbitomeningeal band first, and then we go on to the other side. So we preserve all the membrane, and so there will be no bleeding actually. And that is one thing. And another one is that then we can take it all the way back and then drill an extended petrosectomy also, and deal with lesions like petroclival, sphenopetroclival, meningiomas in this region. These are the two modifications that we have done.
So, what is the second modification?
The second modification is taking it way back to the posterior fossa, which means the middle fossa is drilled. And so the Dowling's classical approach doesn't include the anterior petrosectomy. So we are combining Dowling's approach with Kawase approach. So to deal with sphenopetroclival meningiomas primarily. So this is the second modification.
Okay. 这个还用我给解释一下吗？这个大家应该听懂了吧？
郭老师还是解释一下吧。
因为他说的太快，我感觉他好像是第一个是改良，是因为他是从那个眶脑膜系带这个位置从前往后走的，然后德兰斯入路是从后往前，是吧，孙主任？他好像是首先从 V3 开始的，然后 V2 那儿如果有出血的话，他要打这个要控制出血，而他从眶脑膜系带这个地方去剥离这个两层膜之间的这个腔隙，所以它出血很少。然后第二个是它实际上它的这个改良技术是把斗兰斯入路和卡巴塞结合在一起了。
好的，还有老师有问题吗？
我看到这里边有个冯老师他在打字问，就是问郭老师做基底动脉时常规左侧脑室穿刺吗？如果遇到脑室较小的病人，如何释放脑积液降低颅压？
这个不常规做，就是如果有病人有脑积水的话，我去做脑室穿刺；如果没有脑积水，不是太明显的话，我就直接开进去了。开进去，然后主要是通过一个是基底释放脑积液，再有一个是做中板造瘘。我有很多病人都是不能说所有病人吧，但是大部分都做中板造瘘。这样做中板造瘘之后，进一步释放脑积液，那脑组织会明显的松弛。然后艾普教授呢，他有一个术式，就是 cisternostomy， 我把它翻译成脑室开放技术。那么它用来做这个颅脑创伤急症，所以他现在在国际上在推用这个术式来代替去骨瓣减压。对于脑疝的病人，或者是非常颅内压非常高的病人，他也不去骨瓣，所以那么他的这个就是采用的借鉴的这个 动脉瘤，还有这个颅底手术的这一个方式，就是释放脑积液，那么可以明显的减轻颅内的压力和松弛脑组织。然后手术结束的时候，再在基底脑池，就是视交叉池这块放一个引流管，然后持续的引流大概5天左右的脑积液，来减轻术后的这个脑水肿。
好的，谢谢郭老师。
郭毅老师讲解。
解答。然后我看还有一个老师刚刚又提到了说想请教一下基底间动脉瘤的高位和低位有什么标准的评判？请3位老师谁可以解答一下？谢谢。各位老师不要谦虚啊，那个
孙主任给解答一下。
等会儿啊，基底尖儿的高低的话，基底尖儿的高低的话，因为有一些因素在里面，主要是前后床突的连线，从骨性的标志可能去判断一下，这是一方面。再一个，本身的这个人的这个蛛网膜池的脑组织松弛程度，尤其刚才有的人也提了，是不是脑肿胀很明显？尤其老年人有时候他的蛛网膜池就侧裂就比较开，而且脑子有萎缩，空间也比较大。还有颈椎动脉床突上段它的走形的偏移的程度，而且颈动脉分叉的高低，一般咱们都是从第3间隙，刚才郭主任也都是很好的展示了从这个动眼神经和颈椎动脉之间第3间去常规去操作它，而且就是主要是前后床突的这个连线啊是很重要的，而且颈椎动脉分叉的高低也决定了第3间隙的这么一个空间。当然自己的这个脑组织松弛的程度，包括你的颞前下的这个颞叶往后拉的这个空间是否够充分，而且拉的时候也要注意别把这个颞前动脉拉断了，然后包括侧裂静脉的一些处理，都决定了你这个第3间隙甚至动眼神经外侧第4间隙的这个显露范围。这样操作空间最大了以后，你可以阻断基底动脉，可以处理这个基底间，包括显露对侧的这个P1，还有对侧的动眼神经根部，这样的可以甚至做这种对侧的这种双侧大脑后动脉的阻断，基底动脉干的阻断，包括还有就是涉及到这个后交通动脉是不是佩戴型大脑后动脉，有没有 P1。像郭主任刚才有一个病例，好像就是后交通比较粗啊，一般2毫米以上，而且同侧椎动脉没有 P1段大脑后动脉，这个你是不能牺牲的啊。如果是比较细小的后交通，你还可以去给它去切断，增加这个第3间隙的这种空间来去操作，因为咱们都是隔着颈椎动脉和动眼神经之间去放夹子啊，这个确实是非常深在的一个部位。郭主任那儿还有什么补充？
没有了。
3位老师的讲解。如果各位没有其他问题的话，我们非常感谢3位老师的讲解，辛苦了。
好，再见。
各位老师，那个请那个我们的这次这个线上课程到现在就结束，然后thanks for Professor Iype, thanks for Professor Guo, and thanks for Professor Sun. All of us gave us an amazing night. Online so great to experience, and thank you a lot. And 然后谢谢各位，然后顺便跟大家说一声，明天晚上的内镜垂体液呢，我们将在明天晚上准时7点开始，好吧？谢谢各位老师，那么也谢谢各位今天的参与，我们今天的线上课程到这里就结束了，好吧？Thank you.
好，谢谢，
再家见。
谢谢。不是。
Okay. We are still on YouTube. And that was a quick last minute broadcast of our conference from China, originally from China. It was a different platform than what it usually is. It was sponsored, by the way, by Hotri. Hotri is a company that makes some neurosurgical, I think, educational materials, devices in China. And they use a platform particular to China, I believe, but a good platform. But we're also able to post it here. So we'll stop this now. Thank you.